Okay, so right now I want to go over this uh, worksheet that's labeled Dimensional Analysis Worksheet number 2. I will go out of order, primarily because I've already did all the answers here, and I'm going to, just go over, review each of the specific answers. So as you can see, question number one says convert 261 grams into kilograms. This is an easy one. Converting grams to kilograms. You know the conversion factors. There's 1,000 grams in 1 kilogram. Grams in denominator, grams and grams cancel. So 261 divided by 1,000 is 0.261 kilograms. Because that's a relatively easy one. Let's look at, I know again, I'm going out of order. It's number 12 right here. Question number 12 right there says 0.74 kilocalories per minute to calories per second. So what is the answer for question number 12? Well, first of all, I'm trying to change kilocalories to calories. Whether you know what a calorie is, K for kilo, there's 1,000 of them. There are 1,000 kilocalories in a calorie. Sorry, 1,000 calories in a kilocalorie. So there are 1,000 calories in a kilocalorie. Kilocalories cancel out. Then the next thing, change your minutes into seconds. And you should know that there are 60 seconds in a minute. There are 60 seconds in a minute. So from this, everything cancels out except calories per second, which mathematically in this case is 12 calories per second. Two significant figures. Okay, let me show you the next one. I'll just uncover everything except the answer. Number 2, again, I'm going out of order. Number 2, 3 days is how many seconds? Well, a day is 24 hours, an hour is 60 minutes, a minute is 60 seconds. So it's going to be 3 times 24 times 60 times 60. Of course, you should know that is 259,200 seconds. Okay, if you want to see that 3 days as one sig fig, then you would write that as 3 times 10 to the 5th. But if you want to see that as 3 exact days, or 3 exact days, meaning 3 infinite number of sig figs, then in that case, these would all be significant. Okay, question number 13. I wrote it on actually a separate sheet. Anything that has to do with squared, those are a little bit different. So the ones that are squared are a little bit different. In fact, let me cover that part first. Okay, 1.42 grams per cubic centimeters. How many milligrams per cubic meter? Okay, the grams and milligram part, that's the easier part. 1 gram is 1,000 milligrams. Okay, 1 gram is 1,000 milligrams. But the harder part is converting centimeter squared to millimeter squared. Well, you know that 10 millimeters is 1 centimeter, or there's 10 millimeters in a centimeter. Well, if 1 centimeter is 10 millimeters, if I squared everything, that's the same as 1 square centimeter is 100 square millimeters. 10 squared is 100. So 1 squared centimeter is 100 square millimeters. So whenever you have squared stuff, think of it as not squared, then square both sides. Okay, I think I covered up the answer there. Then if you do all that in a calculator, 1.42 times 1,000 divided by 100, you get 14.2 milligrams per millimeter squared. Okay, next one, question number 3, which is convert 9,474 millimeters into centimeters. Again, 1 centimeter is 10 millimeters, so that divided by 10 on a calculator, I got 947.4. Question number 4, convert kiloliters into liters. Well, 1 kilo anything is 1,000 of them. 1 kiloliter is 1,000 liters. So 0.73 times 1,000, which is 730. Question number 14. 10,095 meters per second is how many miles per second? You're really just converting miles to meters. Sorry, meters to miles. And a conversion factor here, again, this would be given to you on the test. You can find it on the other worksheet that has all the conversion factors. But there's 1609 meters in a mile. So meters cancel, then you have miles per second. On a calculator, I got 6.274 miles per second. The next few I'll just show you all the answers for, up to number 17. Cubic centimeters to cubic meters. Well, cubic centimeters to cubic meters. I know that 1 cubic meter is equal to a million cubic centimeters. How in the world do I know that? Actually, I just really know that 1 meter is 100 centimeters here in blue. 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeters. So if I'm a cubing both sides, 100 cubed is a million, centimeters cubed is 1 cubed, which is 1, and meters cubed. So in other words, 1 meter cubed is equal to a million cubic centimeters. That's what here in green is. 1 cubic meter is 1 million cubic centimeters. So divide by a million, I got 5.93 times 10 to the minus 6 cubic meters. Looking at, I think, 15 here, 9.81 meters per second squared. You're changing just meters to feet. Why change meters to miles? Miles to feet. Got 32.2 feet per second. Question number 6. I don't know why I skipped it right here, but there's the answer for now. I probably ran out of room for space. I'm just going to skip that one for now. Number 17. 8.41 grams per milliliter is how many kilograms per liter? So change grams to kilograms. 1,000 grams a kilogram. Change milliliters to liter. 1 liter is 1,000 milliliters. And 8.41 times 1,000 divided by 1,000 doesn't change anything. 8.41 kilograms per liter. Okay. Number 17, another one of these things with cubed, or anything squared, cubed, whatever. 1 cubic foot is equal to how many cubic meters? Well, I know this is given. 3.28 feet is equal to a meter. So if I cube both sides, 35.29, because 3.28 cubed is 35.29, cubic feet is equal to 1 cubed, or 1 cubic meter. So if I have 1 cubic foot, 1 cubic meter is equal to 35.29 cubic feet. Cubic feet cancels. I have 0.0283 cubic meters. If you want to be technical, if you want to see it as 1 sig fig, 0.03 cubic meters. Number 17, I think the answer is underneath there. 3.8 kilometers per second is how many miles per year? Change kilometers to meters, meters to miles. Then I need to change seconds into years. 60 seconds in a minute, 60 minutes in an hour, 24 hours in a day. It's a little hard to see, but 365 days in a year. And that all comes out to be, to 2 sig figs, 7.4 times 10 to the 7 millimeters per year. Okay. I don't know where I did the work. So I'm just going to jump over to number 9. 175 pounds is how many kilograms? There's 2.2 pounds in a kilogram. So 175 divided by 2.2, which is 2 sig figs, 8.0 times 10 to the 1 kilograms. Number 18, 7.68 calories per second is how many kilocalories per minute. Change calories to kilocalories. There's 1,000 calories in a kilocalorie. Then 1 minute is 60 seconds. Seconds cancel, calories cancel. I got 0.461 kilocalories per minute. Question number 10, 4.65 kilometers is how many meters? 4.65 times 1,000, 4650 meters. Question number 9, 8.24 grams per square centimeter is how many milligrams per square millimeter? Change grams and milligrams, that's the easier part. 1 gram is 1,000 milligrams. Now this part here is actually where I wrote this in green. I need to somehow change square centimeters to square millimeters. I again remember 1 centimeter is 10 millimeters. If I square both sides, 1 square centimeter is equal to 100 square millimeters. That's where this conversion factor is. 1 square centimeter is 100 square millimeters, and square centimeters cancel, grams cancel, and you have milligrams per square millimeters, 82.4. Question number 11, 22.4 kilograms per liter, change it to kilograms per milliliter. So all you're really doing is changing your grams to liters to milliliters. So 1,000 milliliters in a liter, liters cancel, you get 0.0224 kilograms per milliliter. Question 20. Change 25 meters per second into miles per hour. And from that, change meters to miles, 1609 meters in a mile. Change seconds to minutes, minutes to hours, and to sig figs, I got 56 miles per hour. Next four problems. 21. Convert 2.05 times 10 to the 5th seconds into years. Okay, change seconds to minutes, minutes to hours, hours to days, days to years. 60 seconds in a minute, 60 minutes in an hour, 24 hours a day, 365 days in a year. So it's really 2.05 times 10 to the 5th divided by 60, divided by 60, divided by 24, divided by 365. From that, I got 0.00650 years. You can write it in scientific notation, or you can just leave it as is. They are the same thing. 6.50 times 10 to the minus 3 years is the same thing. Next one, number 22. Traveling 65 miles per hour. How many minutes will it take to drive 125 miles to San Diego? Okay, this one you need to know the equation distance equals rate times time. I'm trying to solve for minutes or time. Time is therefore equal to distance divided by rate. I know the distance is 125 miles. I know the rate, 65 miles per hour. So miles and miles cancel. 125 divided by 65 is 1.92. But that's hours. You see, the unit left are hours. The question didn't ask how many hours, it asked for how many minutes. Well, that's fine, because I also know that 1 hour is 60 minutes. So it'll be 1.92 times 60, or you get 115. If you want to be technical, two significant figures, because 65, two sig figs. Number 23. Convert 50 years into seconds, and write it in scientific notation. Okay, 1 year is 365 days, a day is 24 hours, an hour is 60 minutes, a minute is 60 seconds. 50 times 365 times 24 times 60 times 60 is, on my calculator, 1.577 times 10 to the 9, and these are seconds, or 50 if you want to see that as one sig fig, that's 2 times 10 to the 9th, one significant figure. Okay, question number 24. Traveling at 65 miles per hour, how many feet can you travel in 22 minutes? A mile is 5280 feet. Okay, distance is equal to rate times time. I know the rate, 65 miles per hour. I know the time, 22 minutes. Well, actually I have to kind of do that on the side. I don't know where I wrote it, but I had to convert 22 minutes into, oh, it's down here. Convert 22 minutes into hours because the rate is per hour. 22 minutes hours, change 22 divided by 60 is 0.366 hours. So the time was 0.3667 hours. Hours and hours cancel, so you get 23.8 miles. The question is how many feet? Well, 1 mile is 5280 feet. So it'd be 23.8 times 5280, or on my calculator, I got 1.3 times 10 to the 5th feet. Okay, now let's look at the other side. Okay, looking at the other side, question number 25. It says one sphere has a radius of 5.1 centimeters, and the other one has a radius of 5.00 centimeters. What's the difference in volume in cubic centimeters between these two spheres? Give the answer to correct number of significant figures. Just as a reminder, the volume of the sphere is 4/3 pi r cubed. That you should, you learned in geometry. And pi in this question we'll use as 3.1416. R is the radius. So let's say volume of one sphere. It's 4/3 pi, pi times r, 5.1 cubed. The other sphere is 4/3 pi times the radius, 5.0 cubed. This is what I got in my calculator for the first sphere, and this is what I got in the calculator for my second sphere. So the question is, what's the difference in volume? Subtract. Subtract. What is 555.64 minus 523.6? And I got on my calculator about 32. Okay. Question number 26. It says the total amount of fresh water on Earth is estimated to be about 3.73 times 10 to the 8th cubic kilometers. What is this volume in cubic meters? So I'm given this. I have cubic kilometers. I want cubic meters. Well, I know kilometers to regular meters. 1 kilometer is equal to 1,000 meters. But this is cubic, so, well, like in the other side, cube everything. 1 cubed is 1. Kilometers cubed is equal to 1,000 cubed, or what is that? That's a billion. 1,000 cubed is a billion meters cubed. So the conversion factor is 1 cubic kilometer is equal to a billion cubic meters. And I'll have 3.73 times 10 to the 17th cubic meters. So that's the first part. Second part is converted into liters. This would be given to you one of these conversion factor. 1 cubic meter is 1,000 liters. 1 cubic meter is 1,000 liters. So knowing that, we just really multiply by 1,000, or 3.73 times 10 to the 20th liters. Question number 27. Question number 27 says, Sally Leadfoot was pulled away on her way from Syracuse to Ithaca by an officer claiming she was speeding. The speed limit was 65 miles per hour, and Sally was traveling 97 kilometers in 102 minutes. How fast was the average speed? Okay, well, distance equals rate times time, so rate is equal to distance over time. We know the distance is 97 kilometers. We know the time is 102 minutes. So divide that, I get 0.95 kilometers per minute. Okay, so that's fine in kilometers per minute, but I think we want to convert to miles per hour. So change minutes to hours here in green. Minutes, 60 minutes an hour, minutes cancel. Then 1 kilometer is 1,000 meters. There's 1,609 meters in a mile. And so her average speed in miles per hour is 35 miles per hour. Now for the second part of the question, so her average speed is 35 miles per hour to 2 sig figs. Does she deserve a ticket? We can't actually answer that. We don't know. Even though her average might be 35 miles per hour, we don't know if she was sitting at a red light going 0 miles an hour, and then when it turned green, Sally just stepped on the gas and went way over 65 miles per hour. So we can't exactly answer that question. Kind of unknown, you can say. Does she deserve a ticket? Based on the information, we don't know. But her average speed was obviously below the speed limit. So average speed does not mean how fast she was going at any instant. Okay, question number 28. Answer, quick answer, no. Would I eat this? Well, maybe you would say, yeah, I'll eat this because it's just full of chocolate, that melted. Heating something at 373 kelvins is 100 Celsius. So you're going to basically melt this thing, melt all 2 kilograms of chocolate and not that much flour. So it's not the right ratio in any way. I'm not even going to go over that one. So it's not the recipe. But would you eat it is the question. Sure, if you like melted chocolate. And then if you see it like that, like, yeah, I like melted chocolate, then sure, you can eat it. Question number 29. Winnipeg is refilling the pool. How many gallons of water will it take to fill a pool that is 50 by 25 by 1 meter? So the volume of the pool will be length times width times height. 50 times 25 times 1.5. It's 1875 cubic meters. Question is not asking how many meters. The question is asking how many gallons. And so based on the question number 26, again, you would be given this. 1 cubic meter is equal to 1,000 liters. 1 cubic meter is 1,000 liters, so cubic meters and cubic meters cancel. Now you have liters. And it says there's 3.786 liters in a gallon. And so liters and liters cancel. It'll be 1875 times 1,000 divided by 3.786. And I got on my calculator 495,000 for 245 gallons. Or in this case, if you want to see it as 1 sig fig because of that 50 meters, If that's 1 sig fig, then it would be 5 times 10 to the 5th gallons. So based on rules of sig figs. Okay, question number 30. Question number 30. Meredith found some lace that was 4 liters, or that's not liters, that's pounds, British pounds. 4 pounds per meter in Ireland that she'd like to buy, was afraid she was paying too much for it. The same lace in Canada is $5.99 a yard, in Canadian dollars. Was she paying too much for it? And at that time, $1 was 0.498 pounds, and 1 yard is 3 feet. So what I did was I converted my 4 pounds per meter into dollars per yard. So I can compare, is it more or less than $5.99? Okay, it's underneath here, but I'm going to convert my 4 pounds per meter into dollars per yard. And if it's more than $5.99, then it was overpriced. And if it's less than $5.99, then obviously she got a bargain. So first step, change pounds to dollar. And it was given 0.498 pounds is a dollar. Next step, I want to change my meters into yards. 1 mile is 69 meters, 1 mile is 5280 feet, 1 yard is 3 feet. Doing all that, you got $7.34 a yard. In Canada, again, it was $5.99 a yard. So in Ireland, this is Ireland, yeah. In Ireland, it was $7.34 a yard. So obviously, it costs more in Ireland than it did in Canada. I'm just going to show you the answer for number 31 and 32. 31 and 32. Okay, 31. At any given point in the orbit, the moon is 2.4 times 10 to the 5th miles from Earth. How long does it take for light from a source on Earth to reach a reflector on the moon and return? The speed of light is 3 times 10 to the 8th meters per second. So the question is, how long? The time. Distance equals rate times time. So in other words, time is equal to distance over rate. I know the rate. It is, well, right there, 3 times 10 to the 8th meters per second. The only thing is I need to find is the distance. That's what here in the red is. The distance is, well, 2 times 2.4 times 10 to the 5th, or 4.8 times 10 to the 5th. Remember, it's round trip, so you have to double the distance. But that's in miles. Notice the rate was in meters. So I did here in red change my miles into meters. 1 mile is 1609 meters. Miles and miles cancel. I get 7.72 times 10 to the 8th meters. So the distance is 7.72 times 10 to the 8th meters. So my meters and meters can now cancel, and I got 2.6 seconds. Question 32, last one. In Raiders of the Last Ark, Indiana Jones tries to remove a gold idol from a booby-trapped pedestal. He replaces the idol with a bag of sand. If the idol has a mass of 2 kilograms, how many liters of sand must he place on the pedestal to keep the mass-sensitive booby trap from activating? The density of sand is 3 grams per cubic centimeter. So, equation, density is equal to mass over volume. And we know, what do we know? We know the mass of this thing is 2 kilograms. I changed it to grams, 2,000 grams. The reason why I changed it to grams, because the density was measured in grams per cubic centimeter. Grams and grams cancel is 667 cubic centimeter. In case you didn't know, this is also in the conversion table. 1 cubic centimeter is a milliliter. So 667 cubic centimeters is the same as 667 milliliters, or 0.667 liters. Okay, so that was the worksheet. I know it's a lot.